Back in Bold, a beautiful sunny day in the Dominican Republic on the balcony. I'm with the Ripper. Mr. Rippy has been on the podcast for a while. I've been doing solo dolo ones. Have you seen a couple of them? They're pretty good. But
I've seen them.
The Ripper's in old Lima now, huh? He's back on the road.
We are. We're about a week into Lima, so
Yeah, you got propagandized by all the Twitter bros who are saying, "Oh, Lima's so nice, it's underrated." Is that what happened or no?
no. I just haven't been to Peru yet. I haven't been to Peru yet, so I decided to come to Peru. Originally it was going to be Colombia, but extended the stay a little bit in the States. And, you know me, I like to spend at least 2 to 3 months in each spot. So decided Peru was going to be the easy get to.
And the sun is shining?
The sun is shining today, but the weather is kind of weird here. It's a little weird, but it's shining right now.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I did a couple weeks, 2023. I really like the Sacred Valley, the Cusco area. But Lima was good. It was good, calm, clean, safe, great food. I like that Barranco. Have you been to Barranco or wherever yet, that area?
Yeah, Barranco. I went there this weekend. They have a ton of cafes. So
Yeah.
it's definitely a different vibe from Miraflores. But, yeah, I went over there. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, Miraflores is way more modern. You got that really nice mall in the water, nicer apartments. The Barranco or whatever is more like colonial, bohemian, hippie type vibe.
Yeah, definitely more colonial, a little bit older buildings. Not as much foot traffic for sure. Tons of, like, cafes, like kind of like outdoorsy, indoorsy cafes too. So, yeah.
Did you go to Centro yet?
Not been to Centro. Have not been to Centro. Just San Isidro, which is north of this, north of Miraflores, and a little bit of Barranco. Pretty much anything that the, whatever you call it, the Malecón leads to.
Yeah, dude, the pollution's terrible. Like, and once you escape the sea, I'm like, holy crap, this is bad. The downtown's pretty cool. It's like really historic. It was the first city, the Spanish, I think the first big one in South America at least. But I like that a lot. But yeah, man, they got pollution problems inland, so it's good you stay by the sea if you're in Lima.
I don't think it's pollution. I think it's just the connection of the cold mountain air connecting with the warm sea air. So that's what my Airbnb host told me. But yeah, there's like random parts of the day. All of a sudden I thought there was like debris coming down from the apartment complex. You'll see it out the window, but it's literally just like the clouds and like the mist at certain times of the day. It just, floats in the city, and then it'll just clear up for 2-3 hours. And yeah, so.
Yeah, well, curious to hear more about Peru later on when you get some more action in there. But no, hey, today I want to have a couple different topics. One, okay, I haven't released the whole year episode thing yet. I got to do that, and I just felt like it sounded dumb at the start, so I got to edit it and make it because I split it. I did the Brazil part, and then we did the 1 hour of the last year, so I got to fix that.
Well, I
But
told you
anyways,
we could redo it. We should have redone it.
Yeah, I know.
I said because it was just all over the place, but we can do it.
But I want to talk about, okay, being gone for a year and then going back home for, 2 months or a month and a half, you're back home, like, the energy, did anything change? How was it with your family? Do you appreciate things more? Like, that kind of thing where you leave and all of a sudden for a long time you come back. Like, what is going on in the brain,
Sure. So you just want to hear my take on being back? Okay. I mean, it's probably the age at which we are at the same time, as well as just being back and gone. But I don't think there's a whole lot of difference. Like some people, if they know you're back, right? Like one of my best friends, Blake, I mean, instantly he has my location. So like I literally landed and he's like, so when are we hanging out? Like the people that know you're gone, they reach out to you. They want to be with you, hang out with you, like when you're there, because they don't know how long, you're going to be there. So you have like a couple of those friends as well. But then at the same time, you're dealing with the holidays. So everyone's got other stuff going on with girlfriends, now people having kids, families. And so, yeah, it's just more of not a whole lot different, just growing up. But I think the weird thing is, for me, not really with people our age, but anyone like older, I guess, when you speak with them, I feel like half the conversations right now in the U.S. is like political. Like it's news stuff. It's just, that's what they bring up and talk about. And so that's like an interesting dynamic, which I think is great when you're away because you don't deal with it. You just kind of deal with your own kind of echo chamber, and you don't deal with the people you're speaking to in these other countries who are talking about it, which is great just in terms of mental clarity because you don't have to deal with all the bullshit. But it's very interesting, the dynamic of like conversations back home with people that are in the mix all the time.
I didn't really get much this time around, but I was kind of like in the bubble, secluded. But it was last Christmas, the first Christmas I went to in like 5 years, and it was like constantly only about football, gambling, and like something else. I'm like, what the fuck? Like everyone's sports bets, and it was like a weird vibe, and there's no other conversation besides. I mean, during the holiday season part, there's a lot of football games and so forth, but it was just. That's all anyone talked about. I was like, holy shit, is this everyone's life now? But this time around it wasn't too bad. I think it's just tough when people have been in like the same place for so long. There's not many topics to really talk about. Like they're kind of going through their routine, and how's the high school football team doing, and it's odd, So I think that's like the reverse cultural shock when you go in there. But then also there's a feeling of like home and comfort, and this is like. Not much has changed, right? So you drive by the old neighborhoods, and it's like, oh, I remember this, and it brings back nostalgia. And I mean, downtown Park Lake, I mean, yeah, there's a couple new restaurants, but it's the same shit. It's been the same shit for how long? So it's like going back to like a comfort little spot and chilling,
Yeah, it's a very generalized conversation, for sure, or like bringing up like previous things.
That's the biggest thing. Stories from the past.
Yeah,
that's yeah.
But that's why it's very easy to change that up if people are actually interested in your travels. Like you can tell, obviously, stories that we had together, places that we've been, like people that are curious about that. Oh my God, is it as dangerous as they say it is? And you just get to kind of like press them like, no, absolutely not. Like the echo chamber that Americans live in, anything south of the border is like insane. So when they hear that, well, I heard that if you go to Brazil, you're going to get mugged and robbed and get everything stolen. And it's like, no, you just got to have an ounce of awareness. And so you pick that up with traveling. But yeah, it is some generalized conversation, but that's what people are, that's what's normal to them as well, too. It's always like, what are you doing? How are you doing that, too? Like, how are you making money? How you living? That classic conversation. And so that's always funny to mess around with, too.
So do you think you could ever live back in Minnesota where we're from, or no?
Not Minnesota, but I'm definitely not a passport bro where it's like I'm trying to put my entire life in South America. Like I still prefer being in America. Like there is just something about the convenience of things and just having a car, and like I feel like the routine's easier when you're not traveling a lot. You just have a place where everything is. So I still highly prefer like the U.S., but as of right now, I like this lifestyle.
So not Minnesota though, like a Florida, but you would not go live back in Minnesota.
I mean, maybe a second home or something for the summers, but yeah, Minnesota specifically is freezing cold. I couldn't do the winters. Once you get away from winters and you get away from the gray for 6-8 months of the year, yeah, when you're living there, you like appreciate the summers because it almost feels like legitimate summer every time. But I mean, Florida, you can't beat Florida. Okay, what about you? Second time back, how do you think the experience was second time back?
I had some tweets. I put that out there. I forgot exactly what. Oh, one of the big things, and I kind of noticed it last time too, is I do feel more on edge, even in the freaking suburbs. Of course, like a Mall of America, just different areas. I had this feeling in my head, if I'm not carrying a gun, that some freaking nutcase could just come out of nowhere and just start shooting. Like I don't have that. And I'm not saying Minnesota is more dangerous than South America and Latin America, but I had that more on edge feeling that there could be a freaking crazy person that could start blowing up the place, right? And I'm big pro gun guy. I will die for my guns, but I have this feeling when I'm back in the USA where if I pull up in the Chipotle and some guy that had a bad day or a school shooter or a gangbanger will come in there and start shooting. Do you ever get that? Like that's one thing I noticed.
Not once. I haven't been on edge once. The only time I've been on edge, and it was like in Minneapolis when I stayed at a hotel for a couple nights, and it's like I don't even see any white people down there. Like it's quite literally just Somalis and stuff down there. And then what we know from what's been happening there, it's to us, it's kind of weird to see a place that was super safe, super clean, just kind of wrecked in a lot of different communities. But that's the only thing. I mean, I've never felt on edge anywhere else.
Yeah, I pushed back too when that whole thing happened. Obviously, I was freaking pissed, and it's crazy because I was in Nairobi, or Eastleigh, where 80% of the freaking new builds and malls and real estate was from Somalians, and no one knew where they got the money because it was from the taxpayer. So obviously, it's freaking ridiculous. But the '90s were bad. It was Murderapolis in North Minneapolis. Like there was tons of killings. It was the most until like 2022. Then we had like one more. So that was like during the COVID shit after all the Floyd stuff. That was getting really bad, but definitely the downtowns I felt were deserted. Obviously, it's cold, it's snowy. Like I was in St. Paul back to back 3 straight days during the week, and people on the street that were walking around. Granted, it was snowy. They're like homeless junkies, like yelling at people. Like it was just not a good feeling. And I'm looking at these beautiful historic buildings. I'm like, wow. In the summertime, especially, this could be such a freaking amazing, gorgeous place. And maybe it still is when it's summer out because it's right next to XL Energy Center and so forth. But it was still dangerous in the 90s, but now it's like, I mean, everyone from the suburbs are like, why the fuck would I ever go down to Minnesota, and the shootings, even in Dinkytown, Uptown's kind of like dead now. So yeah, that is an issue.
Yeah, it is. I think Minneapolis is very slept on. I've said that for a long time. I think it's a great place, but yeah, it's kind of had a little downfall for sure. It's still a pretty city. Still cool things to do, but a lot of those places that people would go out, enjoy, different restaurants and bars has kind of fallen apart due to all that. But yeah, I know that's not a part of the plan for this pod, so we won't go too deep into that. But was there anything else that back home was different, or kind of the same as last time?
Yeah, I could never live back home year round for sure. The weather. I mean, I don't know how anyone, you grow up and you get used to it, but once you leave that, to me it's insane how people put up with that tundra, the no sun. It's just it's terrible. Like it's not meant for human life. It's crazy how people do it. It's nice you get to like lock in, like you stay in the house, but then there's another thing. Then you're secluded from everyone. You get depressed, isolated, like unless you're doing some sort of like dinners. But then here's the problem. Like if I go host a dinner and you drive over to my place, you can't get like too drunk, or you can't have a couple bottles of wine. If you drive home, you're getting arrested. We're not taking really Ubers in those areas. So yeah, I can't. I'm not gonna be living in Minnesota probably ever again. So I mean, I appreciated everything that's given to me. I think I was great growing up in the childhood and safety and so forth. But there's nothing there for me anymore. Like I see how my friends are living. Some are happy, God bless them. But it's just like this is not what I want. Like I've seen too much, done too much to go back here. And yeah, it'd be good to raise a family and have some good schools. But there's just nothing to fucking do. Like, and that's probably me too. I could go to a museum. I can go to a dance class. But it's just different, Like I think I need to be down in Florida, or I could do the mountains in Colorado, which I did, or maybe a big city, but I wouldn't want to raise a family there. But Minnesota, like, what is there to do? Like maybe the lakes during the summer, yes, but and then the Somali shit. Okay, now that all got washed away because of the ice thing. But how could I ever live there and pay taxes and get my money stolen like this? Like and just be made fun of and laughed at and they're doing these things because like I have Somali friends. Like I actually met the groups in Kenya because more of them are there after the whole Civil War and whatnot. Like I went to Eastleigh, they're like hub in the world, and so I'm not like I don't hate them. I have a lot of friends, but they're doing this thing like these videos like, oh, it's our birthright of Minnesota. Like they're making fun of the whole Israel thing, but they're like our birthright to go to Minnesota and take what's ours. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So yeah, I don't want to get started on the Somali thing. Thank God Nick Shirley did that, and all the people that stood up for him too. It's like, you're just getting robbed blind. These people laugh at you. They take your money in Kenya. They build these fucking places. And they were bringing millions of dollars in suitcases through our airport. For a long time, they're doing this. They just go in cash. They have a little smuggler, handler person. And yeah, that pissed me off. So that happened when I was back home. When we were back home. And I was just like, this is horseshit. A lot of people were pissed, though. But now everyone's like, oh, the ICE is the Hitler, so we have to forgive everyone.
Yeah. They got to move it to something that isn't the fraud, even though 90% of all the cash taken out of MSP Airport comes from Somalis, apparently. That's the numero there. But, yeah, no, I agree. I was back, working and stuff, and it's just crazy. You wake up at 7 a.m. and it's dark and gray outside. You maybe one day a week, twice a week, the sun comes out for a couple of hours, and then it's gray and dark till 6 p.m. So I don't know. It's hard to actually be disciplined in that type of environment when it's 10 degrees outside or negative 10 degrees and you have to go outside, warm up your car, wipe off all the snow to just go to the gym. There's not any good gyms really in the suburbs either. So it's like, it's really, it's just not good or conducive to just a real kind of mental clarity, vitamin D, looking sexy and tan. So yeah, I agree with that. So, yep.
And then it makes sense. Then you just, you lock in on the football. You go to the local bar. There's not much, and you can do in the winter. Maybe if you like skate or do outdoor
activities.
It's just
drink. You just drink. You just go to the bar and catch up with people
yeah.
and drink and maybe snowmobile. But even then, one of every 3 years has enough snow to just, start up your snowmobile and ride it around the city. Like my parents have snowmobiles. My dad, it depends on the year. You either got to go way up north where it snows a lot more, or you got to hope it snows throughout the year. And that's a hit or miss in terms of that. So.
But yeah, don't hate Minnesota at all. I think the summers are great, but there's nothing for me there anymore besides my family. Zach, AI, okay? Let's get into this because I see this thing. I see on the Twitter and the tech people, they're like, holy shit, the world's going to end. Like, this is insane. We're firing everyone. We're seeing the job market. Like, the junior software people are all not getting hired anymore. So, like, something is happening. But I see, like, in the normie world, especially Reddit, I sent you that post. I see it all the time. Oh, AI is actually just a nothing burger, and everyone is wasting their time, and like, because everyone, I think they're scared, like they don't want to be easily replaced, because a lot of people are going to get replaced, okay? Like, I know what I do for my stuff, I've eliminated so much time with all these things I do with the Claude, okay? With the ChatGPT, the Gemini. Gemini is making music now. Bro, you can make freaking music, like, and it's not terrible at all. I'm shocked. Photo editing, just PDFs. Now Claude got the Figma in there, Excel. I mean, it's crazy, right? So I'm in the camp of, holy shit, this is going to go crazy. And a lot of people are going to be useless now. I think it's the time for the idea guy, which I've always been an idea guy. It's hard for me to actually do the work, but I can think about it. But what do you think about this? Why is there such a disconnect between the normie and these people that are, like, in the thick of things?
Because the normie doesn't build skill sets. They go to college and get a job, and they're given a SOP of checklist of things to do for their job, and they just want that paycheck. That's the normie. They're not spending the extra time trying to learn other skills or trying to learn other things. That's why everyone hates the course seller, the online money. How do you make money remote? They're not trying to learn new skills. They thought college was the skill set, and it's not. And so obviously, it's going to take their jobs in certain places if they're not implementing it themselves. So the people that are implementing AI and testing with it now and trying to learn how it can help their job to maybe spend 4 hours a day instead of 7, 10 hours a day on the job, it's only going to help them because they're providing more value to the company in that way. It's not going to fully replace people for, a few years, in my opinion, but it's going to allow people to have smaller teams, not as many, corporate workers, and the people that actually utilize it to their advantage, they're going to get, paid for it. They're going to be able to keep those jobs. So the problem is, I don't want to use it. Well, you probably should if you're not doing anything extra and providing more value to the company that you're working for. And that's kind of my thoughts.
I think there's some psyop stuff going on because, like, I see it all the time on the Reddits and some other parts like Facebook where they're like, no, don't worry about it. It's actually horseshit, and oh yeah, it's wasting too much water, and wow, it's so stupid, and it messes up. Like, I think it's trying to, because it's going super fast. I think there's some thing going on to keep everyone at bay and to not like start going wild and trying to stop the train, which I don't think the train can be stopped anymore. But it's just like I see some of these. It's all the time. If I ever go on Reddit, which I do for my little market research and so forth, and there's some still good subreddits out there, but I see every time, oh, AI is actually not that good. Oh, AI is just a farce. And I'm like, are you guys retarded? Like, do you guys not see what's going on with these things? Like, it's not just a little ChatGPT 3 years ago where it says whatever you want to say or whatever. Now it's like, the Claude Code's insane. Dude, it's actually insane what it does. You know what I mean? So I think people are in for a rude awakening, and they better get on the ship before it takes off.
Yeah, you can't stop the train. It's already too big. It's already going to happen. What are they just going to, they're going to put, you guys got to understand who runs the train. These people run the world. These are tech founders. These are billionaires. They're not just going to, oh yeah, we put billions of dollars into this. Let's just cut it because the public wants it. It's the same way with politics. You can complain all you want, but they're going to make the decisions that are going to make them the money anyways. So you can't stop the train. You can sit there and complain, or you can join the crew, learn how to do it, learn how to utilize it like we have, and understand what pieces of AI allow us to work better and to get more stuff done. because there's certain AIs that people probably just know ChatGPT. But now, since I started using Claude more, I'm using Claude way more than ChatGPT, right? You use Gemini as well. So it's like when you find different AIs that we're using, and we're the baseline of AI stuff. There's people that are obviously building like the Claude Code stuff or all this other extra back-end, things. We're just doing what's well with what we currently have. And if other people just think GPT is the only thing, they're in for a rude awakening.
Yeah, and also, I mean, it's the arms race too. We got to beat China. So it's like if we just stop, China's not going to stop. Just like the whole pollution thing, where you see the Germans cut all their pollution, and you look at the China chart, and they just 10x'd it. They said they weren't going to do it. Like China and India are still going to pollute. Doesn't matter how these little small European countries, how much they recycle in their beer bottles and so forth. But yeah, man, it's going fast. I'm excited. I think it's going to be great. Yes, there's going to be a ton of negatives, no doubt about it. But I think if you can somewhat try to keep your soul with it and use it as like a extra Superman power, but then again, sooner than later, bro, it's gonna be like, why the fuck don't you join into it? You know what I mean? Or have the nanobots in your body and fix things up, and like everyone is saying now too, if you can stay alive for the next 10 years, like you're gonna live 130, 150, like it's just gonna freaking exponentially blast off. And I've said it for a while too. It's like, the Black Mirror episode where they put the thing in there and they play the video games.
Yeah.
I'm like,
they're living in their own virtual worlds.
Yeah, like I've lived enough in the real world that'd be great if I could be a Viking going on a raid and like have all those feelings and emotions, or be an emperor in Rome. Like it'll be awesome. Like I want to go, and like a kid in the favela. Imagine if a kid in the favela can put that thing in there and then go to Venice and go do a history tour, or like go see different perspectives of the world. Like, won't that be great for people? So I don't know. It's going to be a fine line somewhere, but I'm excited. Like I'm using it to the most of my advantage. I don't want to get lost in the sauce too much. Like I find myself checking it too. Like I don't want to. Okay, like the other day, like when I spilled coffee on my freaking leg, like hot coffee, and it burnt. And I'm like, oh hey, what should I do? Is this okay? And they're like, oh, you probably might need a tetanus shot. Like, when's the last time you got a tetanus shot? I'm like, what? Oh my god, I haven't gotten one for a long time. It's like, yeah, if you don't get it in the next couple of days, like, it's completely fatal. Like, you'll die in 30. I'm like, I called Johnny, the doctor. I'm like, dude, what the hell is going on? Like, should I go run to the hospital? It's like, Nick, it's a burnt wound. Like, it'll sterilize everything. You didn't have like a rusty knife or nothing. But I'm like, no, dude, it's telling me that I gotta. So like, it's scary how much influence it can have on you.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know what to say to that. I can't believe you even believe that. Oh my God, you're gonna die. Like, hell no. I do use it for health stuff though. Yeah, I do use it for health stuff though. Time. But now I have had every month I do something with GPT. I mean, I'm using it every day to rewrite certain things, to rewrite funnels, VSLs, to, Claude has worked amazing for me compared to GPT to review credit reports and get a breakdown instead of scrolling through 80 pages on a credit report. That saves me an hour. And so to me, I think now I'm like, holy shit. Like, if I didn't have this right now, like how much extra work I'd be doing and how much more stressed I would be on certain things, that's where, it really helps. But I'm not sitting there having it be a part of my entire life. And I sure as hell still, like, I would say we're a part of the 10% of people that are aware and woke enough to understand, like, hey, we can use AI to improve our lives and improve our businesses. But I'm not going to become a freaking bot. Like, I'm not going to implement an AI in my brain to go to Venice quite yet. So
it's crazy. But yeah, everyone check out that stuff. Go mess around with Claude Code. Like I said, like I messed with Cursor last year for a little bit, and I built something like very basic and minimum, but it kind of worked. I was like, wow, but it took a long time. It took like an hour, 2 hours from start to finish, like not knowing. But I built it, right? And then Claude Code though, dude, I can think of anyone in my head. Then I'd be like, hey, here's their whole business idea. Okay, give me 10 like really high ROI ideas that I can implement today, build with Claude. I can send it to them, and boom, they'll send me these amazing lists, and I say, wow, this is actually a good one. Make it. Boom, 10 minutes go by. It's made. The front end, right? But it's still interactive. I can still click this, and it does a summary or report. I mean, it's unbelievable. And then I'm like, okay, send this to the person. Hey, I was thinking about you. Like, would you like this in your business? Do you think this would be like good for you? And then people would be like, holy shit, this is great. Okay, boom. I call some dude that's a back-end guy that can do this for $300 to like actually implement it. And then I send it to him, get paid from this guy. It's game over. literally in your brain right now, if you have an idea and you can think of someone that you can make their life better, their business better, you can make shit in 30 minutes from start to finish. Like, even if you don't know Claude right now, you can say, hey, how do I do it? And it'll tell you how to do it. And then, okay, do it. It's wild.
Yeah, for sure. The thing is you have to keep prompting it. I think the problem is when people use it too, when we're just talking about the basic AI stuff, it's just they're taking the first thing. Like for me, I'm always prompting it different things, or then I'm putting my insight into it and saying, hey, like a lot of times I'm like, dude, you sound like an AI idiot. Like make this an organic style post in my type of writing, and then changing it that way based off of what I already did. But I think the real thing that is really going to blow people's minds with AI is the actual transition and speed at which technology is going to happen. So the last 50 years, we've had air travel, we've had banking, we've had all these different things that took 20, 30 years to come to fruition. We're going to start seeing stuff happening so much faster. Something that would take 30 years is now going to take 5, 6 years. And it's only going to get faster and faster. From health stuff to technology to all of that to freaking air travel. We're probably going to have supersonic planes in the next 5 years. We're probably going to have flying cars in the next, but that's because AI is implementing all that information. They're taking data and math and all this stuff to be able to make things and make decisions faster. And so that is what we're going to see, in my opinion, over the next 5 years. What we thought would take 20 years is going to happen at 200% the speed, 300% the speed. And I think that's going to throw people off guard because our brains can't conceptualize the speed at which things are happening. And so as long as we can understand that it can happen that quickly and we're aware of it, the problem is 90% of people aren't aware. They're just walking the line.
And that's why I think there's some sort of psyop or thing going on to pacify everyone before it just hits. Like, because if you just start thinking about this stuff, you start, oh my God, what the hell is going to happen? Like, why would I go to work today? We're going to have universal high basic income or whatever Elon is talking about. So I think they're trying to keep everyone at bay until the final moments where it's like, okay, guys, the whole world's going to change, right? So I don't know. I think for sure by the end of the year, there's going to be a 1 hour amazing movie made by only AI that would have took $100 million from Hollywood. Like, I'm already seeing 5-10 minute stuff that's like, holy crap, this is pretty good. You can kind of tell it's AI, but you can kind of not. I think by the end of the year, they're going to make an hour-long movie fully AI, and that's going to be wild. I mean, maybe in 2 months. And the way things are, every day Claude is coming up with new stuff. It's crazy. I just saw today, fully does all PowerPoints now. Tell them what PowerPoint you want to make, and it'll make a beautiful PowerPoint presentation in 10 minutes. I mean, it's crazy. You made a great point, though, is how you prompt it, okay? And if you're not a smart prompter, then tell it, hey, how can I be I use Claude Code, and then I run it through a ChatGPT to get the perfect AI photo prompt from Gemini. I'm using multiple AIs to say, hey, get this highly in-depth prompt, make sure, okay, recheck this with a different AI, then send it to this one, and then I'll take what they give me and say, hey, review this, what should I add to it, right? So that's a good idea how to use AI, is constantly going back and forth with each other and prompting.
Yep, 100%. And that's how it grows and gets better and understands everything better. So
speaking about the new world, this whole AI thing, peptides, okay, it's the biggest thing in the world. You're a big peptide maxer. It's funny to me. It's funny to me, Mr. Anti-Vaxxer. Of course, we're both not vaxxed. We weren't that stupid. But all these dudes that were, I didn't get the vax, are now throwing Chinese chemicals straight into their system from the dark web or wherever you guys are getting it.
Well, I guess to throw that to AI, I had a stack of peptides that I was looking to get and put into a cycle while I'm out here in Peru. And I prompted with AI for an hour and a half, breaking down how I wanted to structure the cycle, why I was thinking that way. And it was giving me feedback on where I should implement certain things at certain parts and certain weeks and all of that. So I had it build out my entire plan for me, and then also grade that plan and what they would recommend other things. So instead of me constantly searching every single Twitter post, if I want some, what they're doing and their dosing and all of that, I was able to help build that out. But in general, peptides, I've always been a performance guy. I've always been, trying to see if I can just improve my overall mental clarity, my energy, my performance, muscle mass. Been working out for 10 years. I've never done steroids. The problem is if it hits the youth and they're really fucking up their brains and their dopamine and all of that. But peptides have been around for freaking 10 years at this point. You're just now seeing it. Once it gets into the bodybuilding community, that's when it starts getting on the internet, but they're the first founders, essentially. The bodybuilding community is always the first people to it. And so now you're seeing a lot more information on it. But I think it's great because a lot of them, the difference between steroids is a lot more muscle mass, a lot more strength, a lot more building muscle, where peptides is a lot more longevity in skin and health and improvement in recovery. So they're kind of two separate subsets. There's not many peptides that are going to allow you to gain like 15 pounds of muscle. It's more of getting rid of some of the extra things in terms of longevity. So that's why I'm interested in it. I've been doing research into peptides for the last 2 years, just been waiting for more information to come out. And I don't really see any negatives unless it is the problem. People do crazy doses. That's the problem. You always want to start low with peptides and see how your body reacts to them and then slowly titrate up so you're used to it. It's like the first time you drink, you just don't drink a freaking bottle of vodka. And you're like, oh, you got to have a couple drinks beforehand to see, oh my God, this is what it feels like. Then you have a terrible time. It's the same way with anything else with your health. You always want to start low, titrate up, let your body get used to it and understand it.
Yeah, I mean, I was huge on the nootropics way back in the day. I like Dave Asprey. He had a lot of good content about biohacking. So that's how I got on vitamin D, actually. I've been taking vitamin D forever, and that's, I think, made a huge difference. I think a lot of people need to take it. He got me on the magnesium, the acetylene, I mean, every little iodine stuff. Like, I was taking so many pills when I was 17, 18, like vitamin supplement pills, right? And they were great. A lot of it's good. Then I took all the oxyrastams, monofenols, phenibut. You remember when I brought the phenibut? The Russian shit, the good shit back in the day.
Yeah.
Kratom, all that kind of stuff. So, I'd mess around with it. I did like it before. But then, like, you start traveling and stuff, you can't carry around everything. So you want to get more minimalistic. And I thought, too, it's like, damn, I can't just wake up and have a great adventure, or do I need to take 50 different supplements to have my brain somewhat normal, right? So I found, like, the certain ones that, okay, it's going to lock in my brain, and maybe every once in a while I'll mix in some different stuff, but I don't want to be reliant on this shit, right? I'd rather be reliant on ginger, because I can get ginger anywhere, right? It's great for inflammatory, makes me feel alert, focused, so little things like that. Inflammation? How did I say it?
Yeah. Yep, inflammation.
Yeah. So yeah, like I've known about these whole little worlds, which is crazy. You brought this peptide thing up though, and it's blowing up with the people. Is the looks maxing thing? That's another topic. That's massive. That freaking clavicle, the Mager and the Jester maxing. He's hilarious, dude. I love that whole little meta that was going on. But that is scary. Like before we transition, actually I want to bring it up. Like it's like the youth. No one gets that popular unless there's a lot of people behind them, right? And like I was coming to this thing. It's like these dudes, all they care about is like looking good because that's like what they can control. They can't control all the chaos that's going on over here. They're in their COVID lockdown, so they lived a wholly different reality. The economies are flip-flop. There's no jobs. I mean, can't buy a house. So like, it's like the youth has gone like pessimistic, but not. But they're only putting their focus on the one thing they know they can touch, they can feel, they can control, which is like the looks maxing, right? And they have a lot of points too. If you look fucking good, you're usually going to get treated better, right? And I think that goes in with the whole peptide thing, and everyone like focused on this shit. It's like it's crazy.
Yeah. The problem is right. The human mind, the human in general, wants to always cheat the system. They want the fastest path. It's the reason why the fat people don't want to go on a 15-minute walk a day. They just want to be as lazy as shit and eat whatever the hell they want and feel better. And so that will be the problem with younger kids. Is if they jump into that too early. That was the problem a few years ago when it came to steroids. Oh, tren and testosterone. It's like, bro, you haven't even, your natural testosterone hasn't even hit its peak, and you're already messing with it with something that's androgynous and already affects your natural creation of it. So that will be, I get it 100%. Like you want to look good. It's the one thing that you can control, but you got to max out your own stats first. At this point, I've looked into it. I've never injected anything. I've never done steroids, but I was a high-level athlete for 12 years in my life. I've been in the gym for 12 years. I've done sober for 6 months to get in the best shape of my life. I've, maxed out things in the weight room. And so I've done that for a long period of time. So now it's like, well, why not try something that can make me also feel better and possibly look better, because I've tried to max my stats in certain ways. The problem is when no one's actually put in the effort and they're just choosing the cheapest, not the cheapest, but the the fastest option instead of actually knowing what the fuck hard work is. That's gonna be the problem, and that's what I actually think the fall down of the West will be, is convenience. The fall down of America is convenience. People have become so used to convenience. They've so used to things showing up in freaking 2 hours from Amazon. So used to getting the fastest results with everything because of convenience, and that's what's actually going to fry people's dopamine and their understanding of like hard work and putting stuff in. And so, yeah, that's a little off center from the peptide talk, but I feel like that's really going to screw people up over the next 10 years because they don't actually understand what discipline and work is. They're always going to try to find a cheat code.
Yeah, a lot of good points, and I think a lot of dudes are, oh my god, the youth is crazy and they're so stupid now, and Gen Z and COVID lockdowns and all that kind of stuff, but like you see it from the social media, it's like, holy crap. But then like I was around them when I went back home, and I'm like, okay, a lot of you guys you're going in the right direction. You don't seem like addicted to your phone nonstop. So I think it's somewhere in the middle. Like you get these doomer shit on the social medias, and a lot of it, has a meaning to it. But then I go to the real world and I see some things. I'm like, okay, maybe the youth is not too messed up. But yeah, I mean, obviously, what is it called? There's a little quote for that where the easy route's not the good route. Fast cash isn't good cash, but there's a better one.
No, it's the strong men quote.
Oh, the weak one?
Whatever.
Okay, that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one. Yeah, weak men, great shitty times, great strong men. But no, there's like a quote for like cutting the path, and it's whatever. But that's true. I mean, yeah, we're definitely, when you can get the DoorDashed and all these different Tinder apps and swiping a million different people, like, yeah, it's, there's a problem, for sure. But, yeah, peptides, no, I think...
you can't stop it unless it's your own kids or your own family. You're trying to instill that type of social longevity, or not really just throw an iPad in their face and all of that. I think it's a part of the parenting. We're also hitting that time where it's like our parents were older, where they kind of lived through this, and it was still not technologically savvy in a way. And now it's like the new parents they were a part of technology. It was a part of their lives. It's like whether they're going to still kind of instill some of those traits in their own kids, or whether they're the same thing. I don't want to deal with the crying child, and I don't want to read them a book, and I'd rather just give them an iPad or something like that. So there's the technology aspect, and then there's the actual humane, individual, interpersonal aspect too.
Yeah, as for the peptides though, like I think, I feel good. I finished up another season. It was tough. It was a little more sore than the past. I'm gonna wait a couple more years, more studies, more firm stuff before I just hop on, throw that stuff in there. And like I said too, I'm trying to get off. Like I want to be natural, a lot more natural with like the eating, the supplements, and all that kind of stuff. And but liquor and all that is a little hard. But I've been sober for some days now. You see the face? I'm glowing, right? Yeah, Zach, I want to see you. You're my test dummy, and then after you're done, and if your body doesn't explode, then maybe I'll start getting on the peptides to extend the career and look happier and healthier.
Yeah, all I would say is if anyone's thinking about it, obviously do your research into them, and never stack a ton of peptides at the same time. You want to be able to understand what you're feeling with the particular peptide. So you want to take that for 3, 4 weeks, 6 weeks at a time, and then you can put something else in if it complements it and it's not reacting with the same receptors. Because when you add something else in, you want to understand, how is this one now affecting me? How is this one now affecting? You don't want to just add 4, and if you have some type of side effect, you're like, well, you don't know which one's which, because you've stacked everything on top of each other. So if you're going to do that, always start low in terms of dosing, so your body can get used to the receptors that it's targeting, and then never stack multiple peptides at the same time, just so you know whether you have side effects or not, where it's coming from. So just a little FYI, just from my experience in the health and fitness space too.
Yeah, the whole health thing is crazy. Like RFK currently is flipping everything on its head. Like, they finally redid the food pyramid. Remember that? It was ingrained into your head as a kid to eat a lot of bread and barely eat any fats at the top. Now they totally flipped it. And all the conspiracy theorists and health nuts like 10, 15 years ago were saying, you guys, flip the health pyramid around. Like, that's how you actually should eat. Ray Peat was super famous for a while. Fasting became popular. It's just, that's the scary part, is because no one knows what the fuck is going on. So you have to almost test on yourself. But it's like in 5 years, something changes. Same with smoking. Remember back in, the 40s, 30s, that was people would prescribe it, and they'd say, "Oh, this is good for you. You know, this is good for your suppression or suppress your appetite, your brain." You know, well, and now nicotine gum is really every study says, "Oh, it's great. You're not going to have Parkinson's if you chew nicotine." So it's not nicotine's not the bad part, which they said it was 20 years ago. It's the chemicals, the tobacco. I mean, so many. It's just never stops. It never ends. Like you could be doing something today you think is healthy, and you know you have cancer from it in 10 years. It's scary.
But I mean, even as simple as just vitamins and supplements that we've been talking about and that we take, I mean, everyone knows this now. Like, even the people that aren't freaking awake know that the health system and the food system is depleted. You're not getting the same amount of nutrients that you got from meat and potatoes and rice and fruit 20 years ago is not the same. You know, it's like 20% the amount because of how much pesticides and how much stuff they're putting in the soil and the degradation of the soil and the mass monopolies of the food companies. And so what you think you're eating is giving you resources is actually not even near what you actually need. So at that point, like, everyone should take more magnesium. Everyone should take vitamin D and K2, right? You should take these supplements because you're not getting that amount anyways. And so everyone seems to be aware and wants to, you know, complain about the food system, but they're not supplementing even the supplements that they would naturally be getting from that food previously. And so you have to understand that, like, the degradation of the soil, of the food, taking supplements to make sure you hit those markers and make sure you're in, you know, a good health state, that's only gonna help you. And it's not that, you know, super low cost to just supplement that stuff.
Yeah, the biggest wake-up pill for me was going to Denmark after college at like 220, 225, Husky. You know, but I was just got done playing, but I was a big boy. And I came back at 190, okay? I stopped drinking for like 9 months, so obviously that played a massive role. But anyways, I went back to Italy. I went to Italy the next year, and I was still sitting at 190. I ate and I drank, again, a shit ton of stuff, and I was 185 the whole time, even while drinking, even while doing all that. And everyone says, oh, I went to Italy, ate all the pasta, drank all the wine, the spritz, and I lost 10 pounds. But it's true. Like, there's the food in Europe, they actually have rules and all that kind of stuff, and it's actually healthy compared to USA, but now it's like a mainstream talking point. But, I mean, not even like 6 years ago, there wasn't even discussed, basically, besides like conspiracy theorists or little health bro nuts. Like, but now it's mainstream. To me, that's crazy. Like how it just. Well, I mean, the biggest one is Epstein, right? I mean, 10 years ago, you were a freaking conspiracy, tinfoil, 4chan, dark web, crazy person, and now everyone that has ever done anything is sacrificing kids and doing wild stuff. I mean, so it's like the world is just spinning, man. It's like nothing. It's like everything is flipped on its head.
It never ends. It never ends. Even with that, I mean, I don't want to get into Epstein shit, but like people are like, "Oh my God, if you ever had an email with him, you're a pedophile." It's like, dude, half these people, we're seeing it now because the veil has been opened. But at the time, I mean, this guy was just some fucking wealth fund manager, and he was probably just like inviting random people to an island. They didn't half those people probably didn't even know what was going on in the island. You're just like, imagine you have millions of dollars or billions of dollars or hundreds of millions of dollars, and your fund manager is like, hey, you want to spend a weekend at this private island? We got yachts, we got jets, we got all this stuff. We're going to party, we're going to have a good time. Do you think they're like, hey, are you like killing kids and like it's like, that's not really a question you ask, and that might be a hard take, but it doesn't mean it is. There's just so much information, but it's just so weird how everyone just jumps to like insane conclusions no matter what. Like, everyone's headline readers at this point. And so it's very interesting. And that's also a part of the speed of tech and the speed of social media, where everyone can get the information like that. And so instead of doing the research where we used to read books and read studies and all of that, they just see the first thing and believe that. And so it's very, very interesting.
The worst part, though, is like he was arrested, and like basically everyone knew early 2000s. I think it was 2006 or something. So anyone after that knew what they were getting into. His network is absolutely insane. Okay, like everyone wanted to know him, talk to him. Like, he would make deals with everyone. So I mean, yeah, like of course, if your name's in there once or twice and there's like factual, okay. You know, he was asking to give a grant to the school, and you responded to him. Oh my God, you know what I mean? And I also agree with you. If you don't know, there's some random billionaire guy's like, hey, you want to check out this island? I'd be like, yeah, let's go, bro. Like, if I didn't know anything about him, I'd be like, this is a cool experience, you know? But no, it's fucking crazy, because 10 years ago, Pizzagate, they got the subreddit banned. All the mainstream media was like, oh my God, these people are so stupid. They think a pizza parlor has these torture chambers. There's crazy shit on that, man. Like the photos and like the weird guy that owned it. But It literally happened. These people are doing this stuff,
Yeah.
and it's just like, it was nutcase 10 years ago. Now it's like, oh, this is our reality now. Like, so what do you believe? And what's going to be nutcase in 10 years? Like, what's crazy now that's going to be normal in 10 years?
Yeah. No, he's not obviously he's not a good guy. Obviously he's fucked up and the shit he did was insane. No one's disagreeing with that at all. So 100% agree with you. But I mean, it's the same stuff will be tied back to AI. It's like, oh, what you see AI is doing, it's like you don't know till you do it, till you utilize it. If you just read a headline that says AI is taking my job and you don't even read the article, you think your job's going to be gone in 6 months. It's the same stuff, but people still need to do their due diligence on shit and actually, think for themselves instead of just be freaking bots.
100%. All right, that was good. Got 50 minutes in there. Hit the main topics. Little vulture. I gotta get back to my
Voluptuous?
reading.
You gotta get your grammar done, dude.
Yeah, no, my words. You gotta read the dictionary. Get reading. That's a big thing. If you just start reading books again, your vocab, everything gets way better. But yeah, there were some talking points there I might have to chill out on, because
Why?
dude, the whole meta thing, I'm pissed off after that happened. Like, they're banning stuff that has anything to do with politics and all that, and it's like, it's just so sick. You got to have like 10 different sources of like channels and build your owns, but you're so limited on a lot of this. And now, but here's the crazy part: every day, not every day, but I see these crazy Instagram reels that pop up. I'm like, what is going on? Like, how is this even here? And then we get freaking screwed for it. I was just a weird man. Social media sucks.
Yeah.
It's great.
There's
There's
always a way around it, though. Like, I started liking and like saving some of these accounts that are showing how to like reconstitute peptides and like talking about certain peptide stuff. But I go in the comments and they're, saying, hey, why can't you do videos of you actually injecting and what that's like? It's like, you can't inject it. And that's why you can't show it on there. But you also, usually the peptides, you can't spell it out either. That's why people in the headlines, they'll spell it wrong, two of the letters in the words so that it doesn't get tagged through the algorithm and shit like that. So, yeah, it is. I
remember doing the podcast during the COVID thing and like totally saying like, look, I'm traveling, I'm not playing around this game. I remember like that was like risky then. And a lot of people were getting screwed, but I was too small for it to matter. Like if they're going to catch me, but even now I am too. But I think we think the floodgates are open with free speech the last 3 years, but I think maybe they're setting up everyone. They're getting all this information with AI and saying, okay, and then bring back the cancel culture tenfold. Because for sure, when the pendulum swings back to the other side, which most likely will happen because Trump has gone freaking, he's like almost crossing the Rubicon, like it's going to get, the next generation of leftists are going to be absolutely insane. I wonder if that's like the goal is let all the people come out and speak, be crazy, and then in 5 years, cut our balls off. So...
Well, that's one of the things with AI I saw on Twitter. People like, oh, you better fucking have your 2FA on all your like bank accounts and all your like logins and shit, because like AI is going to be able to be able to get to your Google password managers and be able to access your accounts and
take your voice.
Yeah, shit like that. Yeah, I've seen some stuff with
the face. They could take my face right now and be me.
People are calling people and being like, oh my God, like in an emergency, and they're saying it's like their mom, and they're like, it sounds exactly like my mom, and it's literally coming from like my mom's number. And I'm like, okay, what's the code word and shit like that? And they're like, they don't know. It's fucking crazy. So I think that like people are going to start seeing the scam shit first, and that's what's going to freak them out about AI rather than the positive, because obviously that's how the world works. There's way more, negative shit like that's going to happen. If people can, get shit out of it. So that's actually kind of crazy. But with that, I listened to Allie, whatever, the numerologist lady or whatever that.
Psychic?
Yeah.
Allie, psychic. Yeah.
Yeah, she's talking about how this year is like a huge, obviously I'm a little bit into the numerology stuff, but she's talking about how like this year is like a into the new world order type of shit. Like crazy shit's going to happen with, and that's what Ray Dalio wrote about the financial system too, if you check that out. But just crazy stuff in terms of the markets, the manipulation, all of that, which we know, obviously markets are manipulated, but so is the technology, so is all this shit. And so they're saying like this year is going to be like a crazy, like up and down cycle of, a lot of changes and technological advancements, and it's going to freak people the fuck out. But as long as you don't allow it to like freak you out, obviously you can take advantage of the opportunities. But most people are going to, be like, what the fuck is going on? So, and I actually think I've been looking into that shit for a fucking year. Like I said, I kind of planned out some of the places where I'm going based on my numerology for the year and where it would be good for me to go based on just like the energy for my year as well. So yeah, it's, I don't know.
One, I can't take Dalio serious. Like, he's been saying this shit for way too long. And it's like Burry, the guy that shorted the market, he said like 2 years ago, get out of the markets now. It's all going to collapse. And now if you got out there and you wouldn't have got 100% returns. Like, it was just... But Dalio, okay, makes a lot of good points with this. I think there's a lot of different factors when you talk about like where USA is at with our military, and like it's got to collapse from within. We're seeing a lot of that for sure. But anyways, I'm not gonna. Dalio studied a lot. Everyone brings him up. It's like he's been saying this shit forever. Like, he's been saying for 20 years, and every year is gonna be the year that it happens. And of course, you're gonna get right sooner than later. I'm not a Western doomer. I think USA just deposed Maduro. Where Cuba is about to collapse. Iran, no matter what your opinion is on Israel, I don't think is good for the world. I think it'll be pretty good for Iran to be subjugated. Russia can't beat Ukraine. 3 days to turn into 4 years. It's like, tell me how USA is losing. But they're just zogged, and I don't want to get into conspiracy theories. But anyways, I have a hard time believing USA is going to collapse with the power they have right now. But the other stuff you were saying,
I don't think they're in collapse. Obviously, they're not in collapse, but like, dude, I mean, Bitcoin went from 120K to 50% drawdown in the last 4 months. The tech sector dropped 40%, and it's only going into heavy metals. Like, we personally, it doesn't seem that big of a deal to us, but me understanding financial markets, I mean, this going into heavy metals is kind of a big deal because people try to find security in heavy metals. And so I'm seeing this, but then you also see, the drop downs in the markets. If we're talking like financial stuff, like there's obviously things moving and shaking behind the scenes that obviously we don't have purview into. And so, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, for sure chaotic. I mean, the silver was freaking shorting and going nuts. Gold's all-time highs, kind of mellowed down again. But I'm saying is like, being an American, all these things the good things that are happening, taking freaking over. Anyone that can support Venezuela, I cannot take you serious. Okay, I've talked to too many Venezuelans in Latin America. I've seen what the fuck that regime did. Oh, but it's imperialism. No, they're not good people. Okay, same with Cuba. Like, anyone that can like defend the head of the commie snake in Latin America is just bonkers to me. So like, all these good things are happening too, and it's like, okay, great, the economy's collapsed. Everyone's fucking done if the USA economy collapses. But we have this military that literally deposed of Maduro in 3 hours with no casualties. Yeah. It's fucking insane. Like, the tech, they're talking about they had the weird tech that disembobulated them. They came home in ashes. The Cuban bodyguards, Cuba ran Venezuela, right? They gave them all their little doctors and intelligence.
And they had Chinese.
Yeah, the Chinese with the Iran. So we're kicking everyone out. Okay, the new whole Donro doctor in the Western Hemisphere. So like, to me, it's like, oh my God, we haven't had Cuba or Venezuela under control. Cuba since the 60s, the Cuban Missile Crisis when the revolution happened. We haven't had Venezuela since Chavez came in there. All the fucking Lula's scared shitless. Argentina has no more Kirchner, no more socialists, no more. Fucking Bukele or whatever. Everyone's aligning in this hemisphere, like, get right with USA or don't. And
they're going right. They're going right over here in South America. Yeah. I mean, there's only two countries left on the left, I think, but.
It's just like,
dude,
I don't know. Like, I'm not a doomer.
Peru just got rid of their president.
Yeah. And the
12th president in 10 years, dude.
They have no
I just found that out.
Minister or anything. Yeah, it's nothing right now. It just keeps rolling.
But yeah, it's. I just look at it as like previous history. Like, I know you're a history buff, but dude, war is that's how I look at Trump. Like with Venezuela and fucking around with New Zealand and all of this. People just don't understand that is how you attain power. You keep power. You get land and you get resources, but people are so like stuck in their little fucking bubbles that they just don't understand. It's like, the more resources you attain, the more land you obtain, the more power you have, right? And so that's what Trump is kind of doing. He's basically playing the old school card, but we're in such a modern age that no one understands that. And so I personally do think, though, I think there'll be a war this year. I think that'll be a part of the chaoticness where everyone's freaking the fuck out, because war makes the rich rich. War makes, it makes shit shake. And I think there's going to be something for sure that the U.S. is involved with, whether it's them doing it themselves, but I think it's more so they're going to have to step in with something else in terms of retaining, power and trying to keep that power. So I think that will be a part of the chaoticness, but everyone's like, oh, war is terrible. It is. It usually isn't good, but that's how you move and shake things. And the people that are obviously richer and run the world know that shit. So
if you want to be the big dog, you have to do big dog things. And like everyone's like, oh, the evil American empire. First of all, like you said, I like history. If you go through the last fucking 5,000 years and you talk about who was the superpower at each and every moment, there has not been one more benevolent, done more good for the world than the United States. Like, okay, what? Did the fucking Persians do that? No. Did Alexander the Great? He wasn't too bad, but he was pretty ruthless with how he conquered. Did the Romans? No, the Romans had probably the biggest slave empire the world has ever seen. Totally erased many cultures. What about the Ottomans? No. Okay, they fucking killed all the Christians, moved them all. They didn't kill all of them, okay? I shouldn't say that, but they played a big effect with this. I mean, the Caliphites, the Portuguese, what they did to the New World, the Spanish, what they did around the world. Like, yeah, they did positives. Like, I'm not dismissing them. Like the British, the famines in India, but compared to USA has done way more. Yeah, there's wars. There's wars all the fucking time. It has to be to keep your power, to keep things in line, to order. But it made globalization great. It made all these third world type countries actually like not be impoverished or hungry all the time. Like every statistic right now is better than it was fucking the rest of human history. The last 100 years. Like if you look at the actual stats about impoverishing and if you have a fucking roof over your head, there's no comparison. Today we live in a better age. So like it's just crazy to me. The doomer shit is so annoying, though. Like, I think right now what we're doing, we're setting our power up for the next freaking 100, 500 years. Like, people say, oh, Roman Empire, like, we're on the same track. No, dude. The empire didn't happen until 500 years. So right now we have 250 years of a republic until we transition to an empire, which then, I mean, if you want to count Constantinople, will last another freaking 1,000 years. So, like, yeah, it's too much. But what I was going to say, when we wrap it up, is your spiritual thing and the psychic and all that. There's definitely something in it with the spiritual or the numerology and the stars and the fucking zodiacs. Like all the elites, all of them play that game. The Romans did, the Egyptians, everyone has done that kind of stuff. So I think there is for sure something to it. I don't want to get into it because I don't want it to be like try to like
consume
dictate
you.
My destiny. I want to be like I control my destiny, and I don't want to be persuaded by, oh my god, this fucking number said I have to go to this city, or or Allie said, the psychic, that something big is going to happen in my life, but I don't know if it's good or bad, and like you're waiting for it,
No, 100%, but that's why, I always say, like, I'm aware of it. Like, I'm not letting it dictate certain things. I'm, like, using it to understand certain things that may happen or be aware of. Like, essentially, for this year, for me, the numerology, like this is technically like my enemy year as of 2 days ago. Like it's supposed to be a year that isn't supposed to be very good for me. And so being in chaotic places strays me off being like consistent. So it was like, you probably shouldn't go to Buenos Aires until like later in the year. You probably shouldn't go to Rio because these will bring up certain vices and certain things that will cause you to go, off your path. And so you need to be in more simple places so that you can make decisions that aren't strayed through like chaos. And so essentially it's like, this is going to be a chaotic year, but people look at that as this is going to be a terrible year for me. I'm just going to do nothing. But it's more so, it's the way that I was kind of explained to it. It's more of it's like a recoupling of like a new lifestyle. So like a lot of things are going to end up being like dropped, or you're going to be, now this is kind of like setting the stage. You're going to be able to get rid of like old past things or old past situations or whatever. And if you recognize that, it becomes more of a good thing, a positive, rather than like, oh my God, fuck, like this is happening. It becomes, okay, this is like a renewingness. And so the problem is when people look at it as this can be a terrible year, and then they don't want to do this, they don't want to do that, they really want to be safe, they don't try anything new because they're scared, oh, they're going to go around the corner and something's going to happen, like that type of shit. No, it's just more of like, okay, it may be chaotic, but as long as you understand that things are chaotic and you can balance that, and you can balance the chaoticness and take advantage of it, it's creating more opportunity for the next 10, 20 years, not necessarily a negative. And so that's why I'm like aware of that. I'm not going into it. I'm taking it as I don't want to take huge risk on certain things. I'm taking calculated risk with things I feel confident in, and that's going to create new opportunity But at the same time, right, I may run into roadblocks or red flags, but as long as I understand, hey, I can handle this, this is, going to be a good year, it's the way you look at it type of thing. It doesn't dictate every decision.
But why is Lima, Peru more calm than Buenos Aires? Buenos Aires is way more seguro than, I would say, Lima's more chaotic in my opinion, no? You said Buenos Aires, you can't go, it's too chaotic.
Yeah, until later in the year. So the start of the year is the start of the Chinese New Year. As of 2 days ago is the New Year. February 17th is the horse year. Horse is my enemy sign. And so at the start of the year, you want to be more balanced. And think about it. I know people in Buenos Aires. I know things to do. And so it instead of being focused on what I'm trying to accomplish this year, it's like my mind could be straight away in multiple different areas. And instead of being consistent, and it's considered a party city. It's considered a lifestyle type of city. And so same thing with Rio, right? And so it's more of that. I'm like, oh, I love Buenos Aires, but that I also love Argentina. And that's why I'm like, I prompted it sometimes too of, hey, what about Mendoza? What about if I do want to have Argentina maybe hit some of these other cities? Well, those are more calm cities. Buenos Aires is a massive city. There's tons of people, right? So there's more chaoticness rather than something like Mendoza. And so
Lima is massive.
It is, but you don't know people here, and it's a lot more less, like, it's not considered a party city. Like, you look at the top 10 cities, it's not like Lima's the place to go out. Like, it's not considered like a super chaotic city.
Yeah, but then don't go to Medellin like you were thinking about.
That's what it said. That's why originally I was going to go to Medellin, and it said it's actually best if you go there just for a short amount of time so you can experience it. But because it's Medellin and it's Colombia, it's known for what it's known for, you'll probably get lost in the sauce. You'll get too used to enjoying your time with women and going out because that's what other people are doing. And so it's more of like getting rid of the distractions for the year and just trying to be in a place that's a little bit more stable so that you can think. Like if I'm going out, that's why I haven't been drinking either. Like if I'm going out and I'm hungover, like I've told you, I'm not productive for 3-4 days. If I just kept doing that, every other week, it's like you're not going to get shit done. That's what happened to me in Brazil. In North Brazil, it's like I'm here alone, I'm kind of lonely, blah, 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 but you're kind of secluded at the same time. But beleza, baby, let's just drink. Let's have a good time. And then you drink and you're like, I came up here to fucking lock in and get shredded, but instead I'm just partying,
Dude, I had a brutal hangover 10 days ago, and before that I did 10 days nothing again, and dude, like, just bad. I was like, holy shit. I'm 30 now, so I'm like, I need a long break, and I need some pill or something to let me do it again, because I was just having one of those days, I'm doing it, boom, and then the next day wake up and go at it, because I got in a pattern where I spend that one day doing it, but staying up really late, and the next day, okay, now let's relax, have a couple beers, and it's not good, man. The hangovers are getting bad. So
yeah,
it's about time.
Yeah, I agree. But I'm looking at the same thing with the health wise too. The same thing, horse here, whatever. But if I get good sleep, if I use the peptides smart and I focus on working out, making more money, and I'm dialed in on all facets from physical to mental to spirituality, it's like that's a positive thing. It's like, maybe I'll get in the best shape of my life and I'll feel the best mentally. And Retta is known for, as well, cutting your vices. Like you don't feel like you want a cigarette. You don't really care for alcohol as well. So it's like, I look at it as that way too. It's like a possibility to get in the best position for, the end of this year into next year and continue building on that without taking massive risk, like taking out a loan and putting it on fucking Bitcoin at 62 and hoping it's going to go up to 150. Like that's typically how I would go about my life, is fuck around and find out type shit. So now it's just and so
end of the year will be big though. End of the year Bitcoin will be cruising. I've been buying up, but now that's all linked to Epstein too, and everyone's like, oh, it's officially over. But
they keep pulling up the Dan Pena shit. Dan Pena,
the
old guy. Oh, if you knew who had Bitcoin, you'd run away. And everyone's like, oh my God, it was Epstein. He was talking about Epstein. It's like,
what a crazy world.
But the numerology stuff is just a guideline. It doesn't take over your life, but at least it allows you to be a little bit more calculated, in my opinion. It doesn't take over like my decisions, but it's like, well, I haven't been to Lima. It worked out. I hadn't been to Lima. I hadn't been to Colombia. I hadn't been to Chile, but both Chile and Lima or Chile and Peru were considered just good energy for me in general. So it's like, well, I haven't been there, so it's a new experience, and I haven't been there, and yeah. So I don't know, but I don't know. I just been working a lot and kind of stressed with what I'm doing right now because I'm literally dominating this guy's business, but still planning things in the background to launch on my own, and I'll probably be back in mid-April for an event that he wants me to speak at with clients, and they're going to get content. And so if I can get content of me obviously speaking in a group setting, mastermind style setting, that's good trust that I can continue to use for my own brand later. So just kind of rolling with it.
And in France, huh? You're going to meet me?
Did you book yet, or what's the fucking deal?
No, I'm going to look at stuff today. But
get it fucking done, dude. Just get it locked in.
I have to go to USA first, and I have to do that first. I have to book that stuff first. But
$60K, dude. Just get it. As long as you book it, you could, if you found a date a week later that's still available, you could just switch the flight to that. But just like the problem is if they have 3 available and someone, or let's say there's only 2 available, one person books, now both you and Julieta can't go. Now you're not going on the same flight, or you're paying cash for one and you're booking the other. And so $60K is a good deal. That's like a $4,000 flight.
Yeah.
But I am thinking about Europe.
Business class.
I am thinking about Europe for sure, because I will be going back, and then maybe I'll spend a month or 2 in Florida. Peptide stack again. Get it sent to me, and then head to Europe for a little bit. Depends on the schedule, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. Unless I can fly back to Brazil and fly that fucking Emirates flight. We'll see. But.
All right, perfect. All right, guys. Live bold. Ciao, ciao.